Surprise, surprise, or really not a surprise, is that LiAngelo Ball has declared for the 2018 NBA draft, even though he's got a little more than a month to go with his team in Lithuania. So I guess he's sort of probably got a little bit of that senioritis over there potentially, but not at all a shocking development. He's been clear, and the family's been clear all along that this was the plan, that he was going to play one season over there, and then come back, get ready for the draft. He will supposedly be at a combine down at IMG Academy, a scouting event there in Florida, Bradenton, Florida. He'll try to hold workouts with NBA teams. We'll see to what extent he gets invited to those. From what you've seen of LiAngelo Ball, assuming you've seen some of
I've seen a
Ball,
little, not as much as you, Josh.
What has stood out to you, if anything, about the middle Ball brother?
Well, I mean, he is a shooter. I don't know if he's quite athletic enough to really be a regular player. I feel like he's a guy who needs to make a summer league roster, go undrafted, make a summer league roster, prove enough to get a training camp invite, and work his way into a team, and potentially, if he doesn't make it, go the G League route or play overseas. So there's a little bit of a headache with the father that I think will turn off some teams, and maybe there are some teams that would like that exposure. Maybe he's someone who is appealing to them because of that. I don't know if that's the case, so we're gonna have to wait and see. But it's a long way to go, and you just need one team to fall in love with the guy. But it's an interesting question. Do the Lakers, who have Lonzo, go after the brother, or will that be seen as kowtowing to the father? It's one of those things. Yeah, do you want to make Lonzo happy by drafting his brother? He's your franchise point guard. I mean, you don't want to waste a roster spot,
right?
But the Lakers have 2 picks in this draft. They have the Cleveland one, the first, which will be somewhere in the neighborhood of 25, 22.
It'll be a bottom 10 first-round pick.
I think best case, and I haven't looked at it in the last couple of days, but as of a few days ago, I think the best case was 22. But let's say 25. And then they also have Denver's pick. Denver's right on the cusp of making the playoffs, not making the playoffs, so somewhere in the neighborhood of 45, 44, in that range. So the question would be, at that pick, do you take a Ball brother, or do you just go with the best player available? And if he's not that, and I think you always go best player available, you got to think twice. What do you think, Josh?
I think this ends up being a situation where LiAngelo, like you said, is an undrafted free agent, and maybe the Lakers go out and sign him. It wouldn't be unprecedented in NBA history for a player's brother to get a little bit of leeway to get onto a summer league team or in training camp. We saw this at least a couple years back with the New York Knicks, with Chris Smith, who was J.R. Smith's brother, who played for the then D-League team that the Knicks had. So it would make sense in that. And LiAngelo is not a total scrub, as people would like to think, or is sort of that notion. He's scored 15.7 points per game so far in Lithuania. If he had played enough games to qualify for stat leaders, he would be leading the Lithuanian LKL league, the top level Lithuanian basketball, in scoring right now, which is no small feat for a 19-year-old. And granted, he's playing for a terrible team. He's on the last place team in the league. They're 5-22, Vitatus, not exactly burning things up, but he's still doing a really nice job of scoring and particularly shooting against seasoned pros, against teams that at the very least you would say are on par with like NCAA Division I tournament teams. In the case of teams like Žalgiris and Lietuvos Rytas, which are the 2 top teams in Lithuania. I know I've had to brush up on all of this.
Word for that.
But those are like EuroLeague level teams, like top level European teams. So that he's leading that league in scoring, I think, says a lot for him. That he's shooting 45% from 3 right now in LKL play is also quite good, obviously. So, I mean, the three-point line is not as deep in Europe, but he's by and large taken deeper threes, more NBA range threes. So clearly he can shoot. He's not like Lonzo where he's got the weird, form where he's coming across his face. He's not LaMelo where he's shooting with two hands. He's the one brother who has the most conventional game. Now, I think the big problem for him is going to be defensively. Can he hang? He has the size and the strength, at least from just like a bulk perspective. He's a stocky player, but he's not super tall or super long. He's 6'5", probably about average length, average wingspan. But I think he has the strength to hang in the post. But how often is a 6'5" guy going to be dealing with low post stuff? And you wonder if he has the athleticism really to finish inside, because he has some moves in there. Well, I don't know if he's going to fool NBA guys to the same extent that he has guys in Lithuania, but there's some skill there. And we'll see if that's enough to merit getting – I think it's enough to merit getting some looks in Summer League, and that could benefit at least LeVar when you think about his master plan to get his kids on the Lakers, that if LiAngelo's a free agent, then he can say, well, LiAngelo's only going to sign with the Lakers, hoping that Lakers will actually abide by that. We'll see, but
it's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I don't know.